Ravens flock. Welcome back to Baltimore Talk, the weekly podcast giving you a recap of every Baltimore Ravens game from now to postseason. I'm your host, Anthony Propst, and I'll be bringing you everything you missed, plus my own personal thoughts, opinions, and analysis. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again. I know last week was the season premiere. It was kind of dull. It was kind of mid. I'll be honest with you. I rewatched it after the fact, and I thought, wow, where was the enthusiasm? Where was the life? Where was the energy? Where was the fun? Well, it's right here. It's right now, baby. It's always right here on Baltimore Talk, the number one Baltimore Ravens podcast in existence. And if you want to argue with me, if you want to fight me, please share this around so people can argue and fight with me. I dare you. Go ahead. I dare you. That's your new that's the new mission. I dare you to share this and say that this isn't the best Baltimore Ravens podcast. Go ahead. Please do. I'm ready for it. But with that being said, still no Ravens mug because I told you guys he won't be here till the start of the season. So this is Ravens insulated cup. I almost said thermos, but who uses a thermos except for soup? Do people still use thermoses? Do people still eat soup? I never hear a person say they want a nice bowl of chicken noodle soup. Do you guys like chicken noodle soup? I know I do. But anyway, we're talking Ravens preseason week 2 last Saturday at 12 o'clock again. And when you see this go up, it's going up on a Friday, which is 6 days removed from that. And the last preseason game is the following day. Oh boy. I promise once the season starts, we will be back to the weekly basis of game day, games here. Podcast comes out the next day. I promise I will make it happen. And if not, if I don't hold my promise, well, you're going to have to just subscribe to find out what happens if I don't hold my promise. All right, so playing the Falcons, early game thoughts. Meh. I wasn't, again, it's preseason. Who really thinks of preseason as really being interesting? I mean, some games that around the league were pretty close. Other games, not so much. We fall into that pretty close category. But again, this is a lobby speed run of preseason. We don't go in depth until the full season, you know. But you all know, and if you don't know, if you're new here, go check out last season, season 2 of Baltimore Talk. Or if you really want to get in the know, go listen to season 1. I only say listen because I wasn't on camera with this beautiful face and these luscious braids. I know you all see them. You all love the new braids. I know, right? I know I do. I just got them done the other day. Tell me they don't look good. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit of a goof today. It's Friday, the best day of the week, day before the weekend. Or if you're like me, you don't get a weekend because you have to work again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. Anyway, before we get into it, Ravens Insulated Cup. I don't know where to get it. I'm pretty sure it's from Target. I couldn't tell you, though. But who knows? So, we start the first quarter with the ball, and our QB, who actually did pretty well last week, Josh Johnson, I know, surprising as ever, he did pretty well. So, 1st and 10, Owen Wright, he gets a carry for 2. 2nd and 8 is a pass to Kirkwood for 11 yards. So, I always write down the last names. I never think to write down the first name. If you really want to know, just go on the Ravens website. Just look up our roster and you'll see it. But 1st and 10, Wright gets 5. 2nd and 5, we get nothing. 3rd and 5, Johnson was sacked for a loss of 12. 4th and 17, we punt it. Not a good start. Not a good start at all. But after an ineligible man downfield and another 3 and out, Falcons end up punting the ball, so they give it back to us. Very nice, thankfully. Then it's back on us for our second drive. Here, let's try this again. 1st and 10, and no. 3 and out. 3 and out again. Yeah, no, I'm not happy about it either. Trust me. I am not happy about it either. But I'm gonna repeat it till September 5th when we have our first actual game, it's preseason. It doesn't count. It counts to some, but it doesn't count to all. Me personally, it counts, but it doesn't. Yes, it does because it shows where we need to make cuts and who we need to coach. But then it doesn't at the same time because it doesn't affect our season record at all. It's just 3 extra games tacked on at the beginning of the year. Again, like I said last week, rookie tryouts. It's really all it is. But it's hard to get a grasp on that concept of who needs what and where if everybody's messing up or if things aren't going according to game plan. You guys know what I mean. But with that being said, now it's back on the Falcons side, and they first play, they get a gain of 23. 23. First and 10, again, they get 5.5. Second and 4, they get a gain of 2. Third and 2, they get no gain. Fourth and 2, they end up going for it, getting a gain of 8. So now it's first and 10. They get a gain of 6. Second and 4, they get an illegal formation flag, so that'll back them up 5 yards. Now on second and 9, no gain. Third and 9, our guy Trenton Simpson, he actually stepped up a little bit last year. Yeah, we had him last year. What? The name sounds familiar to everybody else, including me, right? Like y'all remember his name. If not, then I'm a total goon. But Trenton Simpson got a nice tackle on that and then stopped it after a 2-yard run. So on 4th and 7, they kick a 54-yard field goal, making it 3-0 with 2:21 left in the first quarter. So they put the first points up. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. But now it is first and 10 for us. Our guy Charlie Kohler, or not Charlie Kohler, but our guy Collar, Collier. I forgot his first name. Sorry. He got a nice gain of 4. Second and 6, we get a gain of 2. Third and 4, our guy Miller. I really should just have the roster just printed out right next to me. Maybe help myself a little bit. But third and 4, Miller gets the first down. First and 10, we get a gain of 2, which ends the first quarter. Mediocre, I guess. I mean, they only were able to kick a field goal, so it's not like it was spectacular first quarter, but at the same time, it's not a first quarter I'd like to start our second week, especially because both last week and this week, I didn't mention, we're at home. We're in the bank. So you think in front of our home team, in front of our home crowd. Yes, I know, again, it's preseason, and we're not showcasing everybody. I mean, we have 0 starters except for maybe 2 on defense, if that, maybe 1. But it's how would I say it? It's not it, or it's derivative, if I'm using that term correctly. Maybe not. Who knows? But my point is, it's not worth getting too upset over. I mean, granted, as an NFL fan, as a football fan, as a fan of any team, no matter what sport it is, obviously, whether it's preseason, it's regular season, it's playoffs, it's a Super Bowl, or NBA Finals, or MLB World Series, or the NHL, they have finals. I know they go for the Stanley Cup. I don't know. I went to college 4 years for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years for sports management. You think I would know this stuff, but it's what happens when you back to it. We'll just get back to quarter 2. But again, overall quarter 1, mediocre. But again, it's preseason. So where I said I need to start writing names down. Start of the second quarter, 2nd and 8. Anthony Miller, who I was just talking about, gets a gain of 6. 3rd and 2 now. Owen Wright, he gets the first down. And I know I usually have my papers ripped out of my notebook, but I just didn't think about it till right now. But on 1st and 10, our guy Kirkwood gets a beautiful 26-yard run. 1st and 10 now is a gain of 2. Collar, he on 2nd and 8 gets a gain of 6. 3rd and 2, here we go. We fumbled it. Ravens recovered. It was an early snap. It was a miscommunication between our center and quarterback, and it's not Tyler Linderbaum who was at center. So, because, yeah, I know he's had a couple mess-ups between him and Lamar, but this one was just, the QB wasn't even set. So I don't know how, whoever it was, this, or why they decided to snap the ball right then and there. It makes no sense to me. But with that now, Falcons, they end up going on a somewhat decent run. Their first pass that they threw on 1st and 10 went for 32 yards, but then after that, it was short gains. Our guy, David Ojabo, he checked into defense, and I'm so glad. Welcome back to you, Mr. Ojabo. He was definitely a nice name to have on the roster last year, so welcome back, my friend. And then on 3rd and 7, Trenton Simpson, again, he breaks up another pass. So on 4th and 7, they go for a field goal, which ironically is no good, keeping the score at 3-0 with 10:24 left in the first half. So now on first and 10, Collar, he gets 12. Then we go for only one. Second and, I'm about to, wow. Just read. I should read. 2nd and 9 now. Josh Johnson gets a gain of 8. Then on 3rd and 1, we take a timeout. There's only 8:27 left in the first half. Then on 3rd and 1, we end up losing yards. So on 4th and 2, our guy Cunningham, he gets a pass for 13 yards. John Harbaugh said, let's do it. Let's go for it. But, gosh. I'm so glad he made that decision. I know there are certain points where we've looked at the history of John Harbaugh and his questionable decisions to go for it on 4th down. This is not one of them. He definitely made the right call here, so that was nice. So on 1st and 10, we get a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 is a loss of 2. But then we bring in our guy. We bring in the amazing Tylan Wallace on 3rd and 9, who catches a 31-yard pass. What more can be said about that? Like, Tylan Wallace, we had that walk-off punt return last year in overtime against the Rams, so we know when it comes to doing these types of things, he is definitely the man for the job. And speaking of that, y'all have no idea what's coming down the pipeline for this new intro. And it's getting dark in here. Curse the sunlight and me having to do this in my own home office. Thanks, work! Oh well, if I'm still visible, if I'm still here, leave a like. But now on 1st and goal, Wright gets a gain of 2. 2nd and goal, he gets a gain of 3. Now on third time's a charm here. 3rd and goal, he gets the touchdown. But the Falcons challenged it because it looked like his leg or his hip were down before he crossed the plane of the end zone, but they ended up losing that challenge. So now it's 7-3 with 4:10 left in the first half. Ravens leading. Whoop whoop! So now it's back on offense for the Falcons, and they go on a decent tangent. They end up running down the clock a lot. They don't end up hitting 3 and outs. They end up getting 1st and 10, 2nd and 1. They get the first couple first downs all the way till they get into our territory. But they get to their last drive, and it's 4th and 10 now after a couple incompletes and a couple of gains, like I said, prior and after the 2-minute warning. They were just controlling the last couple minutes of the second quarter. But they end up trying to kick a 45-yard field goal, which was no good. So that's 7-3 with 28 seconds left in the first half. And we pass it out to our guy, D. Wade, for 11 yards. Then we throw an incomplete, take our second timeout. Then 2nd and 10, our guy, Dennis Leary, who did really well last week, he gets 1. 3rd and 9, 4th and 9, we punt it. And the second quarter, no big. I mean, couple of bad things that we had where we needed to stop the ground game, the running game. They were running all over us, which 100% I still agree with. They were those 15-yard runs, those 18-yard passes, but then those 32-yard runs with 6-yard passes. Like, they were just running and throwing all over us. And I even wrote it as my second point. We need to watch their passes in the secondary and down the sideline, because what they were really doing, what we were doing to the Eagles the week prior in week 1, in that secondary, throwing over by the middle line, by the linebackers and in safety, like that in between area. That's what they were doing to us. They were really hitting us in that weak spot, since again it's preseason. We don't have our major starters, our major stars and players in, so I understand where that might lack. But again, at the same time, camps, practice, like you see these guys do this in what they do. So I don't want to say not incorporating it into your own game, but more of not following in said lead and not doing it that way. Really hurt us a little bit. And we need to give Josh Johnson more time, because I believe he got the one sack that I did mention, but I believe he got sacked twice. So our offensive line there was just not giving him any time. And again, I'll say it one more time. I know it's preseason, it's not our starters, it don't count, it don't matter. But still, again, at the end of the day, where you see, because if you guys really think about it, if and when someone goes down or gets hurt, these guys right now are the next men up. So, and that goes the same on the opposite team. And I know we will see Philly and maybe even Atlanta again this year. I know for a fact we're playing the Eagles a second time, because hopefully if I can get it figured out, I'll have one of my friends who's a big Eagles fan be a guest on the show. Probably have to phone him in. But at the same time, you never know. But again, it's just those things that we need to work on, that our second team and third team need to really work on. But the good was Trenton Simpson was killing the defense. He was getting stops, getting sacks. He was absolutely crushing it. So shout out to him for that. Josh Johnson, as of that point in the first half, was 8 for 8, which was stellar. As in 8 thrown, 8 caught. Not a single drop, not a single miss. So where I said I was shaky and wary, this game here actually kind of put a little bit of that, not all of it, that unworry to rest, but it definitely quieted it down just a little bit. Because if you think about it, we had Lamar Jackson and then Tyler Huntley. And Huntley wasn't half bad either. Or Huntley was pretty damn good, I should say. Curse you, Cleveland. That's where Josh Johnson, when he played those couple games, when he was Tyler Huntley's backup, when Lamar was out and hurt, or when Lamar just wasn't playing, it showed that he really needed a lot of improvement. So I'm very glad that we see that improvement has been good. We've had good pass protection. We've had pretty good pass protection, except for the couple of times where he got sacked or we had short runs or negative yardage. But overall, passing-wise, our pass protection was great. Like I said, Josh Johnson was 8 for 8 that day. And then our runs are, again, pretty decent. Probably need to put the burners on just a little bit more, pick up the pace, because we were at first playing from behind, then took the lead. So it's just those things where we need to speed it up just a tad. And then Owen Wright was killing it on offense. I'll be honest. He was going absolutely nuts. So you had Simpson on defense, Wright on offense. Dream team, baby. And then, so now we're going to get into the second half. And this new landing zone kickoff rule, I absolutely hate it, because it didn't hit the requirement on the kick return, so they get to start at our 40. Genius idea. Let's take the ideas of the XFL, now the UFL, and put it in the NFL. How about no? No sounds like a better answer. But now Atlanta has the ball and they're first up, so they go for a decent run, and they end up getting a 1st and 10 for a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. They get the first down. Then they get a 28-yard pass, and that brings them to our red zone. And what did I say? We got to watch their passes in the secondary. And that's exactly what happens. But they get the 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, no gains on any of it. So on 4th and goal, they make a field goal. It's now 7-6, 11:36 left in the third quarter. And now our guy, Emory Jones, he checked in his QB. So you got Lamar, Josh, then Emory. So it's 1, 2, 3. So this is Lamar Jackson's backup. And not too sure about the kid. Not too sure how it's going to work. But our guy Collar, again, he was killing it. Absolutely killing it. And I figured out the distinction of why I remember now. His last name is spelled with a C. Charlie Kohler is spelled with a K. That's why I was getting their names confused at first. But Collar, he gets 6, then 3, then it gets the first. Then we end up going incomplete twice. So now it's 3rd and 10. But Malik Cunningham, he gets a pass for 19 yards. 19! 19? 19? If you get the reference, I'm glad. So that was awesome. Absolutely great. Malik Cunningham, he is definitely on the rise to be a good player. I mean, we still got Joystick. We got Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrew. Our offense is now, this backfield is stacked. Absolutely stacked. So can't go wrong with it. You can't say any more or go wrong with it. But now it is 1st and 10, get a gain of 3, 2nd and 7, get a gain of 4, third was a loss of 4, not gain of 4. So now on 3rd and 11, no gain. 4th and 11, we punt the ball away. 4:09 left in the first, or in the second half, 3rd quarter. And then Falcons, they end up going and not really getting much. They end up going for a 3 and out, and after 2 drives, it was one. They get one drive, they get the first. Second drive, they end up going for a 3 and out. But 1st and 10 now, Collar gets a gain of 2. 2nd and 8, our guy Sharp, he gets a gain of 15. So, interesting. 1st and 10 now, our guy D Wade again, he got a 56-yard touchdown. And that was from a beautiful pass from Emory Jones. So, is going to be the new, is going to be the Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson secondary? Maybe. And then we actually attempted to go for 2, but it was no good. So now it's 13-6, 2:56 left in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 is a gain of 2 by the Falcons. 2nd and 8, nothing. 3rd and 8, nothing. They punt the ball away. Then jeez Louise, it's really getting dark in here. I hope you guys can still see me. But now it's back to us. 1st and 10, we get a gain of 8. Then a 2nd and 2, we get a gain of 4 by John Kelly, which is nice. John Kelly was also really stepping up and doing some pretty good darn things during this game as well. Then 1st and 10, Emory Jones was sacked for a loss of 2. 2nd and 12. Actually, before we got the playoff, this 3rd quarter ended. 3rd quarter, pretty good. Lot better than the 1st quarter. Pretty good. Just a little bit better than the 2nd. And I only say that because we scored touchdown, a 2nd touchdown. Did we get 2 in this quarter? No. So we got the first. Yeah. So we scored a 2nd touchdown on top of the one we already had from the 1st half. So I like to see that gravy train running. But now on 2nd and 12, Kelly, he gets a gain of 1. Then on 3rd and 11, he gets a gain of 7. 3rd and 4, we punt the ball away. Find no biz, no issue. But now, the Falcons, they end up going on a decent run. I hate to give my enemies credit where credit is due, but they go on a decent run, I'll be honest with you. And they end up getting all the way down, marching a little bit, because they go for 3, then they get 6, and on 3rd and 1, they run for 17. Then they end up going again. They get down to a 1st and 10, get a pass for 19. Then it's on 1st and 10, they get a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. There was a illegal formation on the flag, penalty on the Falcons. It was declined and ended up being an incomplete pass. So fine, whatever, I guess. But here we go. Let's get into this meat and potatoes here. So now on 3rd and 8, there's a legal contact by us. Garbage, number 1. 1st and 10, they get a gain of 1. 2nd and 9, we intercept it. We intercepted it by our guy Braid for 11 yards. They end up reversing the call. Who hired these refs? Are you blind? Are you blind? That should not have been reversed. That was a great pick six. So shout out to our guy Braid for that. But now it's 3rd and 9, nothing. 4th and 9, they get a snap infraction penalty. Their field goal is still no good. So it's still 13-6, 7:55 left in the game. Now, 1st and 10, we get a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, Kelly, he got a gain of 1. And 3rd and 4, Leary, he gets hit a first down after hitting with the Schnugen. Again, if you get that reference, thank you. I'm glad I have some fans here. He hit the dizzy dash on him. He broke ankles like this was the NBA. And it's crazy. That man, Dennis Leary, is crazy with the ankle locks and the ankle breaks. 1st and 10 now is a holding call on us. And I will still never get over the fact that offsides is 5 yards, but holding is 10 yards. Honestly, I'd rather it be the opposite. Because if I'm holding you, I'll back it up 5 yards. But whatever I just, oh wow, I don't even know what I just said. Or if I get what did I just say? Hold it. Oh, if I go offsides, I'd rather take offsides being 10 yards over 5. But whatever. Now it's 1st and 20. Collar gets a gain of 10. 2nd and 10. He gets a gain of 1. 3rd and 9. Ravens fumble it, recover it, and still get a gain of 2. Look at that. A negative into a positive. That leaves 3:20 left in the game. 4th and 7. We end up punting the ball away. Now, Falcons, they get a gain of 3, but Adisa Isaac, he was slow off the field, but under his own power, he did get hurt on that play. Now it's 2nd and 7 for the Falcons. They get a gain of 16, hit the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10, gain of 7. 2nd and 3, they go up the middle for a gain of 15. 1st and 10, nothing. 2nd and 10, they get the first. 1st and goal, gain of 4. 2nd and goal, we got a defensive holding call. I call garbage on that one. Then 1st and goal, they get the touchdown. So now it's 13-12. They go for a 2-point conversion and failed. So now it's 13-12, 36 seconds left in the game. Leary, he nails it twice. We win 13-12, end the game. Beautiful. Look at that. We made up for last week. We lost by a point last week. Now we won by a point this week. Love it. But now my final thoughts, I got to say it. I said it in halftime. I'm going to say it again. We can't get run down like that. We just can't. Letting them go up the middle for 15. Letting them pass over the top for 19. Letting them run and just the running and passing over our secondary, it can't happen. And again, I'll say maybe this last time, maybe one more if I have to. It's preseason, I understand, but at the same time, we can't let that happen again because it makes us look bad. Like it says, if their secondary can't stop us, what do you think? How do you think their first string is going to act? So I just don't want to see that happen. Our offense killed it all day though. Like again, D Wade, Collar, Leary, everybody, right? Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But we do have to hold teams, this one specifically, but just teams in general, to 3 and outs. We can't let them just run up on us or run down and just eat up so much field. But worse, eat up so much clock. Because the more time they eat up, the less, which means we have to use. So then it becomes the numbers game of how many yards can we get in this amount of time before we have to take a timeout or run out of bounds to stop the clock. It forces us to not switch up our playbook, but reach a little bit for different or obscure plays. But again, it is what it is. Then Josh Johnson and Dennis Leary did awesome as QBs. Absolutely amazing. As did Emory Jones. Emory Jones, Dennis Leary, and Josh Johnson. All three of you guys absolutely killed it. So shout out to them. and Emery, your 56-yarder was stupidly awesome. Absolutely banger. Straight banger. And they were dropping banger after banger after banger. Mind-boggling. And yeah, that's really it. Honestly, I mean, again, okay, this will be the last time. It's preseason. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter. But from a review standpoint, from everyone here at Baltimore Talking, by everyone, I mean me and the Bear, well, and Lamar. It matters to us just because we want to see these things go our way. But with that being said, like I said, this is going up today as same day as recording on Friday. Our next preseason game is tomorrow on the 24th against the Packers at 1 p.m., not noon like last week, but 1 p.m. in Green Bay. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching another episode of Baltimore Talk. I have been your host, Anthony Propst, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.